This your friends and family. Democrats absolutely blindsided after GOP electors rise up with a game-changing move to cast their votes for President Trump. As you know, today was a day that the Electoral College got together to cast their votes for, well, Joe Biden. However, there were alternative electors, GOP electors in battleground states that cast their vote for President Trump. This is not over yet. I've got all the details, lots of clips, lots of comprehensive information in this report you are going to want to share everywhere. Before I do get into that, if you're new here, tap the red button down below to subscribe, then hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when the latest news is published. And remember, you can access Next News Network's ad-free, uncensored bonus content and exclusive interviews at nextnewsnetwork.com. Let's jump into the story. White House advisor Stephen Miller told Fox News this morning that alternate groups of electors were being chosen in several battleground states, claiming that it would lead to Trump's reelection. Watch.
The only date in the Constitution is January 20th. So we have more than enough time to right the wrong of this fraudulent election result and certify Donald Trump as the winner of the election. As we speak today, an alternate slate of electors in the contested states is going to vote, and we're going to send those results up to Congress. This will ensure that all of our legal remedies remain open. That means that if we win these cases in the courts, that we can direct that the alternate slate of electors be certified. The state legislatures in Georgia, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania can do the same. And likewise, Congress has that opportunity as well to do the right thing.
And then it happened. Nevada, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and even Arizona stepped up. Jack Phillips from the Epoch Times reports that the Pennsylvania Republican Party said on Monday that Republican electors cast their votes for President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence. The state GOP, in a news release posted to Twitter, wrote that the electors met in Harrisburg to cast a conditional vote for Trump and Pence at the request of the Trump campaign. And this, my friends, is not some pie-in-the-sky Hail Mary. There is actual historical precedence. As Fox News notes, the Pennsylvania Republican Party, so they drew inspiration from the 1960 election, during which Democrats challenged President Richard Nixon's victory in Hawaii. Democrat electors submitted a conditional vote for John F. Kennedy, and after a recount, Kennedy was declared the winner of the state. Even the Washington Post couldn't bury this historical fact when they reported that, quote, this had happened twice before in U.S. history. In 1800, the House picked Thomas Jefferson as president over Aaron Burr when the Electoral College vote ended in a tie. In 1825, the House chose John Quincy Adams over Andrew Jackson, who had won the popular vote. Now flash forward to 1876. History tells us again that in that election in 1876, the Republican Rutherford B. Hayes, now this is from Wikipedia, of Ohio, defeated Democrat Samuel J. Tilden of New York in one of the most hotly contested presidential elections in the nation's history. The results initially indicated a Democrat victory, but the electoral votes of several states were disputed until just days before the new president was to be inaugurated. Members of both parties in Congress agreed to convene a bipartisan electoral commission, which ultimately decided the race for Hayes. So there is historical precedent for Trump's next term. Now, continuing into present day, the electors in Georgia and Pennsylvania also cast procedural ballots for Trump while the states continue to be contested. Georgia GOP Chairman David Shafer said because the president's lawsuit contesting the Georgia election is still pending, the Republican nominees for presidential elector met today at noon at the state capitol today to cast their votes for president and vice president. Had we not met today and cast our votes, the president's pending election contest would have been effectively mooted. Our activity today preserves his rights under Georgia law. This is huge news. Now, Republican electors in Nevada have cast ballots for Donald J. Trump, awarding 6 electoral votes to President Trump. Let's take a look at that moment from Right Side Broadcasting.
All right, electors, that is 6 votes certified for President Donald J. Trump. Mr. Chairman, we are on to the next item.
Let's jump over to Wisconsin now. Republicans there followed the rule of law and met to put forward their own electors today. Republican GOP Chairman Andrew Hitt told reporters, quote, "It was to preserve our role in the electoral process while the final outcome is still pending in the courts." Now, this tweet shows us the gravity of what actually happened today. As of right now, to my knowledge, GOP electors have submitted ballots for President Trump in the following states: Nevada 6, Pennsylvania 20, Georgia 16, giving a total of 42 electoral votes. Contested, Congress decides, and they speculate we could be looking at a Trump victory with 274 electoral votes, 266 for Biden. Now let's jump over to Michigan. A group of GOP electors there today arrived at the Michigan State Capitol to cast their votes for President Trump. But the Michigan State Police blocked the GOP electors from entering the building. I have a report also that there was also 200 troops protecting the building. They state here that, quote, "The electors are already here. They've been checked in," the police said as they blocked access to the Capitol. Let's watch what happened.
For the Capitol Commission, for the Governor's Office, for the Speaker of the House, for the Speaker of the Senate, the Capitol is closed unless you have an office here to conduct business today, or if you are taking part in the Electoral College process. Anybody else is not permitted to come in the Capitol.
We're electors.
Yeah, the electors are already here, they've been checked in.
Not all the electors are inside.
Capitol is closed. All 16 electors that we've been advised by the governor's staff that we're going to be here to vote in the Electoral College have been checked in, they're already here.
But the GOP electors, I'm sorry.
I understand.
Yeah.
There, Ian's
The
here.
Capitol
Captain?
is closed, everybody that's permitted is forward.
Unbelievable.
For the Capitol Commission.
Now, according in Arizona, 11 Republican presidential electors have convened to cast their votes for President Donald Trump to be reelected. In doing so, Arizona became the fourth swing state casting procedural ballots for President Trump, while the states continue to be contested. Let's take a look at the historic moment that the votes were cast.
This is a certificate of the votes of the 2020 electors from Arizona, with the undersigned being the duly elected and qualified electors for the President and Vice President of the United States of America from the state of Arizona, do hereby certify the following. A, that we convened and organized in the city of Phoenix, county of Maricopa, state of Arizona at 12 noon on the 14th day of December 2020 to perform the duties enjoined upon us. B, that being so assembled and duly organized, we proceeded to vote by ballot and balloted first for president and then for vice president by distinct ballots. And C, that the following are two distinct lists, one of all the votes for president and the other of all the votes for vice president, so cast as aforesaid. For president, Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida, number of votes 11. For Vice President, Michael R. Pence of the state of Indiana, number of votes 11. Thank you.
Now, Forbes chose to highlight the election law expert Rick Hasen, who reacted on his blog about Miller's comments, the comments we played you at the beginning of this report, the comments he made on Monday morning. And he wrote that, quote, "The electors have neither been certified by state executives nor purportedly appointed by state legislators." He's speaking, of course, about all these GOP electors. He says they don't have any legal authority, and so this does not affect the counting of electoral college votes. Now, according to the Gateway Pundit, they're looking at the Electoral Count Act of 1887, and that says that each chamber of Congress will separately decide which slate of dueling electors to accept. That's what we have now, dueling electors in many of these battleground states. They write here that the new Congress that will be sworn in on January 3rd will be the ones doing the count. The Senate would vote for the vice president. Republicans currently hold the Senate. The House of Representatives would choose the president. However, it is not one vote per lawmaker like it is in the Senate. The House in each state gets one vote, and with the new Congress, Republicans will have the advantage with 27 of the state delegations. A candidate needs 26 votes to win the White House. Now, according to CNBC, Once electors have formally recorded their votes for president and vice president, the next major event in the Electoral College process is a joint session of Congress on January 6th, during which both chambers will officially count the electoral votes. Vice President Mike Pence is expected to preside over the January 6 proceedings in his formal vote as President of the Senate, a job which also includes announcing the results. So it is at this point that he will be faced with acknowledging the electors. And since there are two sets of electors, Pence may side with the GOP electors, handing the electoral votes to President Trump, similar to what happened in 1960, but over multiple states. So what happened today was completely game-changing, caught me off guard. I did not see this coming. But Robert Barnes, the notable lawyer, I'm going to leave you with this. He said, the vote of the Electoral College is not certified until Congress certifies it. Legally, no one is president-elect until Congress certifies a majority of the Electoral College for that person. So, the game is not over yet, my friends. What happened today has historical precedent, and you can take stock in that. Share this report. I'll see you at the next one. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Free.